as supporters, blows his whistle. George Moncur steps up and scores! Bottom corner of the net, the goalkeeper was very close, and it's John. He lets in a low cross, and a spin turn in, and Leyton Orient are back on level terms. He'll come to James, he shoots! Oh, and a goal from Tom James! That was a volley, and that was right. It's a low cross, it's an inviting cross, and it's been turned in by Theo Archibald, and he celebrates in front of the travelling faithful.
Straight off the bat.
There we go, look. But it's no cone.
The sun is shining and the stage is set, and Richie Wellens' O's are unchanged this afternoon as they go on the hunt for yet another 3 points to keep them at the top of the League 2 table. And I'm bringing it all here to you live on Orient Live, and we're joined by Jabbo Abire and Glenn Wilkie, two former Orient players who they've seen it all and they've done it all, and they're giving all the insight this afternoon. And here we go. So, Jabbo, it was a hard fought 3 points on Tuesday night. We just about scraped through.
Yeah, I mean, we showed great character on Tuesday night, and we're showing that we don't necessarily always have to play well to kind of get the result and and come away with the 3 points. So I mean, it was fantastic to see, different sort of display, but when certain players were called upon to produce that magic, we've got it within the team, and Moncur on the night did that.
And let's state the obvious, we are still unbeaten, we're top of the league. Yes, it's early doors, but that confidence is bringing us into today's game nicely.
Yeah, and it's sun shining, so it's a great day, isn't it? No, it's Tuesday night. I watched the game Tuesday night. It was a game of two halves. Bring out the cliches. we were very good in the first half, and we dominated possession. Probably didn't create as many chances as we wanted, but the second half it showed real character and. Hello, St John's Ambulance. It showed real character, sort of dig deep, defend, and a save from Lawrence Figurou for the penalty in the last minute. I think there was a few hearts going at home and at the ground, and he came out with that brilliant save and guaranteed us them 3 points. So it was a really, really good thing. And what I loved after the penalty save is the team spirit. Everyone running, jumping on each other's backs, like celebrating the penalty save because they knew how big it was, and it just keeps us at the top of the league.
Well, it does keep us top of the league, early doors of course, and hello to you as well. But let's take a look at the O's lineup for this afternoon's game as they are unchanged and on the hunt for another 3 points. We might as well give her a microphone. But getting us started in goal for the O's, number 22, Lawrence Figurou, as always. In at right back, number 2, Tom James. Number 5, centre back, Dan Happy. Number 7, Paul Smith. Number 10, Ruel Sotiriou. Number 14, George Moncur. Number 15, Idris El Mizouni. Number 18, the captain, Darren Pratley. Number 19, Omar Beckles. Number 23, and leading the line, Charlie Kelman. And number 24, Jaden Sweeney. And on the subs bench for the O's, Sam Sargent, Shad Oji, Craig Clay, Theo Archibald, Jordan Brown, Aaron Drynan and Stephen Duke McKenna. So we are unchanged to face Walsall this afternoon. And it's no real surprise that we're unchanged, really, Glenn.
Yeah, no, we like we said just now, that first half performance when everyone was on the pitch, we really dominated possession. We played some good stuff. Very unfortunate not to score a few more goals and sort of put the game to bed very early. So there was no injuries from what we led to believe. Players got a bit of rest. They used the subs very wisely in that second half. So no, they deserved their shot at it at starting 11 again.
And consistency is key. We said it on the warm-up on Orient Live, the warm-up which is available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, of course. But we said consistency and that mentality is going to be key for this unchanged 11.
100%, consistency breeds a team spirit, it breeds performances, it breeds togetherness, and that mindset. And it was just nice to see Sweens get his opportunity, and today the manager's keeping his faith in him, and he's got another opportunity to stake a claim for that shirt. So I mean, I'm really pleased for him, and pleased that the defence is still looking rock solid, and just long may it continue.
Let's talk about that defence, Glenn. Obviously we'll come on to Jaden Sweeney shortly, and we've already given Figurou some love for his penalty heroics, but it was another clean sheet for them, and when you don't concede goals, you don't lose games.
No, 100%, and we have been fortunate this season. We've kept clean sheets, and other people who don't see the games look at it and go, oh, Orient's defence must be solid, and the goalkeeper, well, they know the goalkeeper's solid. All these clean sheets are keeping, but we have leaked some silly chances, and we've been very fortunate that we have got the best goalkeeper in the league. If we can cut out them individual errors, like the penalty, like a few little wobbles we've had over the sort of previous weeks, we'll be really, really solid at the back, and we won't concede any chances against a team like Walsall. We know Danny Johnson's playing for them. We need to frustrate the life out of him and just not give away anything silly, you know. But we do look solid. But it's always that little, you know, if a goalkeeper makes a mistake, it's normally a goal. If a defender makes a mistake, it's normally a goal or a very good chance. We just got to really concentrate and cut out them individual errors. And I think, well, I'm not going to say what I think.
and how key is that partnership between Dan Happiano or Beckles that's flourishing for that defensive stability?
It's massive. I mean, obviously, like we know, the spine of a team is very important. And, you know, when you've got two fantastic leaders, fantastic players at the moment showing great form, great communication, it just breeds content throughout the whole team and confidence. And the relationship between the goalkeeper and the central midfield has been fantastic, and you know that's been a key in shoring up and reducing the many opportunities opposition gets.
And we were forced into that change on Tuesday night with Jayden Sweeney having to come in for Rob Hunt, who's picked up a little knock. He performed well, but I think when the defence is performing well, maybe it's a bit easier to slot in as he did.
Yes and no. The nerves will be going. He's a young lad. He's come in. He's been given his chance. He doesn't. First thing he wants to do is don't mess up. Don't make a mistake. Hopefully we don't concede a goal from my mistake. But then once he settled down, the first 15 minutes he was a little bit nervous. You could see that in his passing. But after that he settled down, and I know we're going to come on to a few clips. So I was really impressed with him, not only defensively, but his passing got good. He was tenacious, but getting forward. Once he found his feet and he calmed down a bit, his passing going forward was very, very good, and he linked up really well. And as we'll come on to it, for the goal, his nice little weighted pass which come through for the goal was really, really good.
Well, let's talk about Jayden Sweeney. Everyone wants to be on camera this afternoon. We'll give him all a mic at half time. But let's talk about Jayden Sweeney. Was he your man of the match? And if you see him in action on Tuesday night as well here, yeah, he was fantastic.
Like Glenn alluded to, he definitely grew into the game, and again, it's a bit of a massive pressure going into that game, knowing that you're the only change at times, and they haven't lost the game, and you've got that pressure, and you don't want to be the new player in the side, and suddenly you don't get the result. So he had that pressure on him, but I felt he grew into the game, and it just shows that to the manager that you can rely on me, you can trust me, and have that confidence in me. And if he keeps going, soon that place could be his.
Tom James was the one that we were all speaking about at the start of the season, yes, because he was scoring worldies, but he's maybe going his business a little bit more quietly. But is that maybe because the rest of the defence has stepped up to his level?
Well, also look at when we were doing well last season, when he before his injury, we were playing three at the back and he was playing as a right wing back. We've been playing with a flat back four, so he's not got the opportunity to get forward as much, so we can't see him getting forward. He does do that sometimes when the game dictates it, but he's having to defend. And on Tuesday night they had two very good quick wingers, you know, so his defensive duty as a defender, your job is to defend your goal first and foremost. Do not let the opposition get behind you, get any chances, and that's what he had to do. Rochdale, although they're lowly in a lowly position in the league, they wasn't a bad sort of team, and they had some real attacking threat out wide.
They certainly did, and obviously good teams are built on a good defence, but goals are what's needed to win games, and we haven't really been short of goals here in E10 recently. You expecting to see some more this afternoon? Yeah,
100%. I mean, it's a lovely day, it's sunny weather, and I think the boys are going to be buzzing and up for it, and I think a few of them are itching at the field to just get some goals. And but in that team, you know, there's a few players that can produce a moment of magic at any time, and it's exciting for everyone that's watching, and I expect to see a few goals today.
George Moncur is one of those players who can put a moment of madness. We know he's one of your former teammates from your Colchester days. How special is he? He got his first goal from open play on Tuesday night. It was a well taken goal, but that's what he does, and hopefully we'll see more of that from him as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I was lucky enough to play with him at Colchester, and what a great kid and what a great character he was, you know. And he brings so much more than sometimes just his football presence off the pitch. Is a great person to have in the dressing room, but we know the ability he's got, we know what he can produce, and we're all itching to see that more, and to lead the team a bit more like he's doing in phases. But hopefully him getting his first goal on open play will give him that confidence to really show his true quality, because he can score from pretty much anywhere on the pitch when he wants to.
I'm going to throw in a negative about him though from Tuesday night, which I was sitting there watching going, first 30-45 minutes, every time he got the ball he passed it backwards, keeping possession, which is great. I'd love to. There was a lot of time where, whether it's other people sort of telling him to turn, just to get on the back foot and turn and play forward a bit earlier. And I like screaming at telly because he's got the ability. Maybe he just thought, there's somebody on the back, we're going to keep possession, we're going to keep the ball and play. Maybe he was doing that, but I was like, I think he's got such ability and such quality that he can start receiving the ball on the back foot, turning and attacking quicker, a bit like Paul Smith does. He does it every time he gets the ball, he tries to do that. I'd like to see Moncur do that more, because when he does, he creates goals, he creates chances. Maybe that's me just being a little nitpicky there.
I mean, I know he started every game for us this season, but before that he hadn't played for, I think it was a good 6 months. Are we going to maybe hopefully really see what he's all about soon?
Yeah, so I don't know the stats when it comes to fitness stats and whatever, but every week he's getting physically stronger, he's getting fitter. So is he at 80% capacity now? I don't know what the stats are, but he's a quality player. Like Kelman up front, he scored goals, but same for him, he didn't have much of a pre-season, but he's getting stronger, he's getting physically fitter, so there's big things to come. And I know we've said we're winning games 1-0s, and by short margins. When this team really clicks and we put in an all-round performance, the other teams better watch out.
Well, they certainly do need to watch out, because the O's are looking dangerous, and that's all thanks to our man Richie Wellens. We caught up with him earlier in the week to get his thoughts ahead of the match.
How's the squad feeling after the Rochdale game?
Really good. We've got a couple of injuries, so Rob Hunt, Adam Thompson, but apart from that, obviously Theo was back from his calf, and obviously Aaron Drinning got a few more minutes. So apart from Tomo and Rob, fully fit squad.
And you said we found different ways to win football matches. I think Tuesday was a classic case of that.
Yeah, again, turned out to be pretty difficult in the end, but a game where I've always said we're still a work in progress. We're not the finished article yet, which makes the results that we're getting even better. We're turning into a bit of a struggle because we just came away from what we was good at, and obviously Rochdale changed a couple of things as well. So really pleasing performance. You need that quality to go ahead, but then you need that grit and determination, and obviously players need to come up with big moments like Viggs did to get 3 points.
And talking to quality, we know it's important both to keep quality and add quality to the squad. George Moncur and Lawrence Vigor proved that on Tuesday.
Yeah, the reason why we brought Monks in was because he's really good on the ball. It gives us composure in midfield, it gives us quality in midfield, but then we needed to add goals. So pleasing, his first goal from open play. Obviously he's very good with penalties as well and free kicks, but we do need goals from open play from our midfield. So we scored quite a few goals, and all our goals are spread out, so that's a really good sign.
And it was a pleasing contribution by Jaden Sweden on his first start of the season as well. Really
good. Had a bit of a shaky 15 minutes, which he needs to mentally prepare himself for games better, so he can start quickly. But I think after about 15-20 minutes he made a good pass inside to Paul Smith and kind of settled him down. Not good assist, but the biggest pleasing thing for me was he stayed really composed in the last 20 minutes, defended really well when Rochdale put us under a little bit of pressure.
And you've made it clear you've got a lot of respect for Walsall boss Michael Flynn. It'll be a tough game on Saturday, won't it?
Yeah, I've always liked Flynny's teams ever since he was at Newport. He's done a really good job at Newport. They've made a lot of signings in the summer, so the continuity may not be there. But they're a threat. They scored a couple of good goals recently from counter-attacks, dangerous on set plays. And obviously Johnson is a player that the club know well. He's a threat. Fellows is a good footballer, got a bit of pace in the team. So we're at home, we want to concentrate on us. We're a threat for any team in this league, and there's going to be parts of the game that we need to be really good at to win, but I think it's parts of the game that we are good at. So tough game, but at home, looking forward to getting back home after a long journey on a Tuesday night, and can't wait for the game.
So I was actually looking for the firm one.
Well, here we go. We're back from that one, and let's talk about the midfield again. Let's talk about Idris El Mazouni. He's our one to watch for the O's. He's been so key since coming in to the O's, and he's just fantastic, isn't he?
Yeah, it's been awesome. He's just fit into the system so well. I mean, I think the Swindon game when I watched him, I just thought this guy is doing everything. He was tackling. He'll get the ball. He'll drive. He'll make the right decisions at the right time. His distribution is really good, short or long, and he's just shored it up, and he's allowed Moncur and Pratley just have a bit of freedom, and I just think he's been excellent so far.
We spoke to Craig Clay on the warm-up on the podcast, and he was saying about that competition for places. He's a class player for the O's, and he's given so much, and he's struggling to really get a sniff, and that's how well they're performing. But you want to see that in your squad, don't you?
Nah, 100% Idris. What I like about everything Jabbo said, but what I didn't see for the first couple of games with him, he kept it simple. We kept passing the ball, won his tackles, very gritty as well. but he's got a turn of pace. Like a couple of times when he's keeping it, he sucks the midfielders in, and he goes and he runs past them, and he's got a bit of pace to break through the lines, you know, and get beyond their midfield. Really, really good. I think it's such an impressive start to his O's career. Yes, he's on loan, but what a player and what a future he's got.
He's got 3 bookings in 6 games in the league, Jabbo, already. Maybe that's what his game's about, but it's also something that everyone might need to keep a little eye on. He might be looking at a short time on a suspension shortly.
I know. I mean, I remember when we were counting the bookings with each and every game he was playing. So I think he's relaxed on it a little bit, but I think it's just something he has to be slightly aware of at the moment. But I mean, that's part of his game. He likes to get involved, likes to tackle. Take that away from him, you know, it might be different. So hopefully he's settling in and he'll read it more without sort of making those harsh tackles.
Do you know what, with the bookings, it's just one thing. If I'm a coach or a manager, I don't mind players getting bookings if it's a booking. What I wouldn't like is if it's for silly things like dissent, talking back, kicking the ball away, which you don't need to do. That's where nothing you come down on players. But if people are doing their jobs and they're stopping the game at key moments, making, let's say, a professional foul to slow the game down when you're under pressure, I don't mind that. Like you just said, we've got Craig Clay on the bench, we've got a very strong bench. We've got other players, good quality to come in, and that's where the squad over the season will be used.
It certainly will, and we caught up with Idris El Mazouni earlier in the week to get his thoughts ahead of this game.
So Idris, a month into your time here at Leyton Orient, how have you found your time here so far?
Yeah, great. Obviously, I came to a team that was winning games, and then we kept winning, and then I think we had the draw, and then we won every single game after. So it's been very enjoyable.
So you've produced some great performances in midfield so far. It looks like you've got a great relationship with some of the members in that squad.
Obviously, I'm in the middle with Pratt and Monks, which are great players and an experienced player. Pratt's playing a prime, Monks playing a champ, so I think that they helped me as well in that position, and I enjoy playing with them as well.
You talk about Pratt, Monks, Craig Clay as well. It must be great to learn off those sort of players for yourself.
Yeah, of course. You have Craig Clay as well, which is a great player. He's done unbelievable for the club for the past years, and it's very good to learn from them, from their past experience. I know Craig's got a promotion, Pratt as well. I think Monks as well did. So he's very good.
And how have you found it working under Richie Wellens?
It's been very enjoyable, very good. I like the style of play. I like the way he wants us to play. He set a high standard in training and for games, so it's been very good.
Back in Brisbane Road this Saturday, how's the squad feeling going into that one?
Very confident. Obviously we know what we're capable of, and then we want to keep going, keep winning games, and then keep the fans happy.
And the supporters, you just mentioned, they've taken to you really well. How important are they going to be to us this season?
They're going to be very, very important for any team that want to push for promotion. You need your fan to back you up at home and away, and they've been incredible for us, and then they've been very good. And
they've made a song for yourself. You've seen a Tunisian flag in the stands. That must be a really nice feeling for yourself.
Very, very good. I thank them for that. They've been very good. They brought a flag as well, which was nice to see. And then hopefully I can keep performing, the team can keep performing, fans keep being happy, and then everyone's happy.
Well, as we've already said, we caught up with Craig Clay, another Orient midfielder, on the warm-up this week, which is available to listen back to on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Make sure you head over there, follow us, and give us a 5-star rating as well. And don't forget, if you're watching live on our YouTube stream, International Fans, you can stream this one and watch along with Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock. So head over to the Orient website to pick up your match pass for that now. But first, let's take a look at the visiting lineup for this afternoon's fixture. And it is Michael Flynn's Walsall who the O's are facing this afternoon, and in goal for them is number 1 Owen Evans, number 6 and the captain Donovan Daniels, 6 Emmanuel Monthly, number 8 Liam Kinsella, number 11 Andrew Williams, number 14 Brandon Comley, number 16 Jacob Maddox, number 21 Taylor Allen, number 23 Isaac Hutchinson, number 30 Liam Bennett, and a familiar face in the name of Danny Johnson wearing the number 39 shirt. And on the bench for Walsall, Jack Earing, Danny Cashman, Jonas Makuna, Ronan Maher, Peter Clark, and Tammy's younger brother Timmy Abraham. I don't know if they're actually brothers, but it's close enough. It's close enough. The one name you picked out to be the one to watch, Jabbo, he's not even in the squad. So are you pleased about that one?
Yeah, I'm pleased for Orient. You know, because he is a threat. He's a genuine threat, and he seems to be growing into his game since he's signing from Yeovil. I was with him at Cambridge, and he's such a nice kid, and I'm really happy that he's establishing himself now.
Tom Knowles,
Tom Knowles, yeah, Tom Knowles we're talking about. But from an Orient point of view, I'm glad he's not playing, and you know, it'll help us.
Has he got a brother Timmy as well?
He is a threat for Walsall, which we singled out, and we had all the preparation to look at what danger he posed. We don't have that anymore because he's not in the starting lineup. We don't need many clips of Danny Johnson to know the danger he poses.
Yes, well, when Danny Johnson is full of confidence and he's getting the service, he's a real threat in the box. We know that for that first season he was here up until Christmas before he got his injuries. But when he gets frustrated, and that's what we have to do as defenders. Dan Happy will know that. Omar Beckles has probably played against him before. If they can frustrate him, like just get an elbow into his back, you know, off the ball, just to annoy him, just to get his head not concentrating on what's going on. Because once he starts complaining and his head goes, he's half the player, and that's what they've got to do. They've got to be sensible about it. I'm not saying treading on his toes off the ball and stuff like that, but they just need to annoy him, because once his head goes, he stops thinking about football and he's less effective.
Well, let's take a look at Danny Johnson, a striker yourself, Jabba. This is your area of expertise. He scored lots of goals for us. He scored a few goals for Walsall. He is a dangerous player if you don't look after him right.
100%. You know, just looking at his goals there on VT, I mean, at the moment, anything that's landing in the box, he is not needing any invitation, no hesitation. He's pulling that trigger, and he strikes the ball really, really well and clean. And he's just been on a rich frame of form since joining Walsall. And I think sometimes when you go on loan from a club, especially in the same league, you almost have a point to prove against your previous manager. That gives you a bit more of a drive. And I think that's what's pushing him on this season. So it's definitely someone we have to keep quiet. He hasn't scored so far this month, so hopefully, you know, his hotspot is kind of expiring, but it's definitely someone you have to keep close attention to.
Maybe other teams have been treading on his toes.
Yeah, possibly.
Well, that's what we need to do this afternoon then. But looking at Walsall, they haven't won much at all recently. It could still be a tough game for the O's though.
Yeah, definitely. They'll be happy coming away from here with a draw today, I would have thought, in their current form. Not having, I think they drew 1 or 2 in their last 6. They're just going to sit deep. I think they're going to sit deep. I don't think they're going to go all out attack just to try and contain us. They know the threat we've got. Every team in this league knows the forward threat we've got, and try and hit us on the break or try and get a goal from a set piece. That's just thrown me. See, that's distraction. I've done a Danny Johnson. No, but they'll be struggling. But I just think our players cannot take this game lightly. We cannot look at the league table. We cannot look at the current form. We've got to go out there, be as professional as we can, and treat this game like we would as if we're playing against Salford or somebody else at the top of the league, and really go at it and play our own game regardless of the opposition. And then once we get that first goal, they've got to come out and attack us. You know, it's got to create spaces for us to go and hopefully get some more sort of goal scoring chances.
And we look at the last game that was played out here in E10 against Tranmere. They did sit behind the ball. They made things really hard for us to break them down. We managed to find a way. You always feel as though Richie Wellens' side will do that.
Well, like I said, with the attacking threat we have and some very special players that can produce something in a given moment, you've always got that reassurance of, you know, we don't have to try and win the game straight away or in the first half sort of thing. So as long as we be patient and, you know, feel our way into the game and see what Walsall can pose to us, then I think we'll be fine. I'm never in danger of thinking we won't get a goal, we won't get a good opportunity, because the players we have are really good.
Flynn is a very good manager at this level. He's, I think, reached the playoffs with Newport twice. He knows this league.
Yeah.
He's done well in it before. Yes, they're not in great vein of form at the moment, but you expect him to maybe get things right at this level, and he will be a danger if things do click for them.
He will be, but like any manager, you're only as good as your players, and you're only as good as your players who are confident and are informed. You might have the best players in the world. If they're not, their confidence is shot to pieces, then you ain't going to get a tune out of them. So he knows how to set a team up. He knows how to win a game of football with players who are not currently informed. Like I said, I fully expect them to sit back, not be too sort of open and expansive with their play early on. I think they want to sort of quieten our crowd down first 20 minutes, not go a goal behind and get our crowd sort of up off their seats singing. So he'll just try and quieten the crowd down, keep it 0-0 for as long as possible, and then try and hit us on the break or try and get a set piece and a goal from that. I think for us today, the key, we talk about the quality and our little League Two superstars we've got. We need to get the ball into their feet as quickly as possible. Smith and Moncur, when they're just pulling off the forward line and they're sort of playing in that number 10 role, it was a frustration in the last home game I was at. They were picking up good positions on the pitch, but we wasn't getting the ball to them quick enough. But we were too slow and laboured, and we kept the ball, but we went across the pitch, and them sort of pictures of getting in there early sort of got closed down. So I'm sure they've been working on it, but I'd like to see us do that, and I think if we do that, we'll get an early sort of goal, and then the game opens up.
Well, there are some superstars in the team, as Glenn alluded to, so let's remind ourselves of the starting 11 for the O this afternoon. It is, of course, unchanged from Tuesday night's victory over Rochdale, but let's take a look anyway. In goal, Tuesday night's hero with that 93rd minute penalty save is number 22, Lawrence Figueroa. Number 2, Tom James in at the back. Number 5, Dan Happy. Number 7 is Little Paul Smith. Number 10, Ruel Sotiriou, looking to get back amongst the goals. 14, Mr. George Moncur. And in midfield alongside him is 15, Idris El Mazouni, and 18, the captain, Darren Pratley. Partnering Dan Happy at the back, number 19, Omar Beckles. Leading the line, number 23, Charlie Kelman. And number 24, Jaden Sweeney. And on the bench for the O's, Sam Sargent, Shad Oji, Craig Clay, Theo Archibald, Jordan Brown, Aaron Drynan, and Stephen Duke McKenna. And I think it speaks volumes of how good we are and how good we are across the pitch that we barely even mentioned Paul Smith's name. Even though he didn't score on Tuesday night, what he brings to this team is incredible, and you expect him to light up the pitch again today, Glenn.
He loves scoring goals. All players do, but he loves pulling out his acrobatic celebration after, and he loves getting his supports off his feet. There's a real anticipation whenever he gets the ball in the opposition's third. You know, he gets the ball, he turns, he drives. He's a very, very exciting player. He's a very, very good player, and he's going to want to score goals here again today.
Well, hopefully there'll be lots of goals for us this afternoon here in E10, and it is now time though to pass over to our match commentary team of Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock.
Good afternoon, welcome to Brisbane Road, where the sun is shining and Leyton Orient are defending a proud 100% record against a Walsall side who got off to a very good start to the season with 3 straight wins. But Michael Flynn's team come here with looking for their first win in 8, and that's despite the fact that Danny Johnson has scored 7 and 11. He actually scored 6 in 5 at the start of the season, and the former Leyton Orient striker will be out to impress this afternoon, won't he, Matt?
Yeah, it was interesting watching the interview that Danny Johnson did going into this game, and he made the point he will absolutely be celebrating if he scores the goal. He wants to come here, he wants to do well, he'll be up for this game. He's a goal scorer. Slightly feel from an Orient perspective, he was almost a bit of an unloved talent really, because there hasn't been many players in my lifetime that have got 20 goals in a season. He did it for the O's, but the fans weren't here. Very rarely got to see him in action, so he almost felt like an unloved figure on the supporters, but today they'll have to be on their front foot